love me so much more than I could ever know. Your love is deeper than this world will ever show. And all of life's beauty shines around this moment now. The sky and the cliffs, they seem to change my life somehow. And I will never be the same. Will never be the same. Whoa, I will never be the same. Never be the same ever again. Well, here I am waiting, Lord, my life is just for you. Please unfold all the plans that you would have me do. And if all the world's just a breath and nothing's here to stay, and all of the love we feel will save us anyway. And I will never be the same. Will never be the same. Whoa, I will never be the same. Will never be the same ever again.
And God's will is simple. The most wretched man in hell will not be Adolf Hitler. The most wretched man in hell, or woman, will not be one like Joe Stalin or some of these more modern devils. The most wretched person in hell will be a former Seventh-day Adventist.
Hello and welcome to another SDA Q&A going live on Twitter and Twitch and Discord and Facebook and YouTube. We're everywhere now, Rodrigo.
Yep.
Hey, it's so good to have Rodrigo Custodio joining me today. And look, it's a somber occasion. A couple of weeks ago, we learnt that our good friend, Tess the Prophet, had passed away. And Tess the Prophet, as many of you know, we had a YouTube channel called Tess the Prophet, and he was anonymous for many good reasons. Some people can be vitriolic in their attacks on people who speak up and just try to ask some hard questions, and so he kept his name and image out of it, and we actually today are going to do the same. We're going to keep his name private, again, for all sorts of reasons. And we do both, and I'm sure Rodrigo agrees, and everybody watching, we just want to send our love and deepest condolences and sympathies to family and friends of Tess the Prophet. Struck down too soon, too young. But I tell you what a wallop his legacy is going to leave. His programs about Ellen G. White, asking tough questions, are going to be heard, watched, listened, studied for many, many years to come. Rodrigo, some thoughts? And then what I thought we would do is actually go to and play a few minutes of his introduction program. For those who don't know about Tess the Prophet, you'll be able to just get a feel for his show and why he was doing what he did. But first of all, some thoughts from you, Rodrigo, and also those in the chat. Please share any thoughts at any time as well.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Peter, for another opportunity to participate here with you. Your channel makes a lot of difference in my life, and since the beginning, and also Tess the Prophet as well. Of course, you're going to share so many important moments, I guess. But one of the things I can say is that over my latest conversations with him, he was in peace. And this is one of the things that is more important for me over the last month, at least. Before everything happened, I had the opportunity to talk to him, and he was in peace, and he was extremely aware about what was happening, and he was also firm that the Lord was taking care of him. So that is something that makes a lot of difference for us, friends, and over this sad moment that we went through.
Yeah, that's good to know. That he had come to terms with it and was at peace with it. And yeah, well, look, let's play. I'm just going to go to his channel, and we'll just play. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
We'll just play. Sorry, I'm just pressing buttons here. His first introductory episode where he shares what he's doing, why he's doing it, and what we can expect. Okay, here we go. Hopefully we don't get
As a Seventh-day Adventist, I had a nagging thought for decades, and that was, how do I know Ellen White was a true prophet? I always assumed someone had figured it out, someone smarter, maybe with a doctorate in theology. But as I grew up in the church, this question continued to nag at me. When everything closed down in 2020, I found myself with more time, and once again with this question of her authority. But I had no idea where to begin searching. How do you investigate a prophet to see whether or not they're legitimate? It's a difficult question to ask, especially when Adventism is all I've ever known. Eventually, I made an appointment with an Adventist pastor to discuss this question and to provide reasons that I should have confidence in Ellen White. But I also asked him to give me one book that would show the unfavorable side of Ellen White, because I wanted to see what was written about her that was not approved by the Adventist publishing companies. I felt this was the only way to see a different perspective. He suggested I read The White Lie by Adventist pastor Walter Ray, a book featured in the August 1982 edition of Time magazine. The book documented Ray's research, where he found that Ellen White had copied from various authors and passed them off as her own work. However, before purchasing this book, I felt very conflicted, and I'll admit that this was one of the hardest purchases I have ever made. You may think that's a strange thing to say, but you have to understand, growing up in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, there is a general consensus about questioning Ellen White. People will warn you to be careful about investigating her. They will caution you about being deceived. Even Ellen White warned that there would be those who would lose confidence in her writings and fall away from Bible truth. But even after all of these warnings circled in my head for a while, I couldn't continue to live with this nagging feeling that something was amiss. How can we test if Ellen White is a true prophet, if the only books we read are those that endorse her as a true prophet? How is that consistent with intellectual honesty? The only way we can substantiate that we are not deceived ourselves is to investigate her. I feel it goes to show how sheltered we as Adventists are, that we are not even aware that there are books and resources out there that shed different light on our prophet and beliefs. Or perhaps I didn't look. Perhaps you didn't look. We tell each other that we have the truth after all, and we caution against looking outside of our community for answers. In the beginning of his book, he mentions he was informed that the book Sketches from the Life of Paul by Ellen White, written in 1883, was largely copied from another book on the life of Paul by authors Conybeare and Hawson, all under the guise that the book was inspired by God. This piqued my interest, and I decided to begin my investigation into her validity with this specific book. But at the same time, I asked myself, why would a prophet need to take others' writings? How could this be acceptable? If someone reports they are receiving light from God and that we should take their messages seriously, or we are rejecting God, should it not create suspicion when we see that that individual has taken others' writings and ideas and passed them off as her own under the name of the spirit of prophecy? At the very least, shouldn't we who have been raised in Adventism investigate her? Why is this not common? I have not found any friends or family who have spent any significant amount of time investigating her. Wouldn't we suggest to Mormons to look into Joseph Smith, or the Christian Scientists to test Mary Baker Eddy? But as I began to search, I found that most Adventists believe our prophet is off limits to this type of scrutiny. Why? I suppose it makes sense that because she is our prophet, and because our parents and friends believe in her, that to challenge her is to challenge our very core, which can complicate relationships. But how can we simply turn our head and ignore any evidence that challenges our paradigm as Adventists? It's not sinful to investigate a prophet. In 1 John 4:1 we read, "Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world." So I ask you, as I have asked myself, have you tested Ellen White? Or have you only read the defenses by the church that then satisfy your own confirmation bias? I'll admit, after I read The White Lie, I could see why I had not heard of it in Sabbath school or the Adventist school system, or even in Adventist graduate school. It is quite eye-opening, and certainly provides a different perspective, and raises many questions. Of course, this is not the only book that has been written opposing Ellen White, but I wanted to start my investigation with this book, and specifically the idea of her using others' writings. So in the initial few videos, I will be discussing plagiarism, beginning with that certain infamous but scarce book by Ellen White entitled Sketches from the Life of Paul. I have over 200 examples from this book, which I plan to show on camera, where she copied from other authors without giving credit. My goal is to examine both sides of the issue, so I will also be discussing the Adventist counter-arguments. After I have discussed plagiarism, I will be testing Ellen White by her own writings and by the Bible. So if you have had some of these same questions and you would like to study with me, feel free to subscribe or check back and write in the comments below. I welcome any discussion. I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. Sorry, I'm just again pressing some buttons here. I hope we don't get a copyright strike on the background music there. And my desire is to steer people to his channel. Coachwork writes, who's going to carry on Tess the Prophet's scrutiny of all the writing so meticulously. Yeah, I don't think anyone can fill his shoes. I know that there are rumblings that we won't talk about now of his legacy being curated. Is that the right word? Looked after, and that's good as well. But I'd go so far as to say that his material is in the top 5 of any that I would recommend. It's so well put together, concise, intelligent, calm, and just I love the way he's just using his hands and his voice, but he's showing the material. How did you feel when you were watching that clip back there, Rodrigo?
Oh, that brings me back to 2000, 2020, I guess, in the middle of the COVID pandemic and the whole struggles we're all experiencing that time, and was one of the main sources about plagiarism that I searched for, and I'm glad God put on my YouTube so I could find it and learn about it. So just for you to have an idea, Peter, I watched the entire series at least 5 or 6 times,
Yeah.
and looking online and checking online at the same time, with the one monitor watching the video, another monitor checking lngwhitewritings.org or any other
Yes.
event source throughout the process of being free. And Tess the Prophet was a key player among, of course, your channel as well, and others. That Jim Baber, for example, we all of you collaborated
Yes.
on each one on your own silo for the freedom of many, and I am one of them.
Yes. There seemed to be an amazing moment during lockdown where a lot of us who had left the church suddenly started putting forward a lot of creative material, just asking questions. And I know with your channel, and I want to, if you can just send me the link in the private chat there, I want to bring it up as well soon. Your channel had a huge influence as well on myself and other people. We were kind of influencing each other without realizing, but there became a wonderful sense of like a team effort where there was zero competition, and each person was just having their own little different angle on it, and other channels and things were being started up, and it was and continues to be a really wonderful collective of people that don't really communicate too much other than like you and I do on the show. And I used to love when Tess the Prophet and Answering Adventism would write in the chat here, and you'd see it coming up, and we would do the same on their channels. But yeah, your channel Paracupasamos, which is easy to find on YouTube. I'll bring it up in a moment as well and share. And Blue Tickets writes just here, Answering Adventism, SDAQ&A, Tess the Prophet changed my life. Not just my life, but my wife's life, and by extension, our children's lives. God bless all of you. Rest in peace. You will be missed.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Amen.
yeah, and Dexter writes, and I'm just going to bring chats up as they come, if that's okay, because
Yeah.
sometimes they'll just get lost otherwise. Dexter writes, "We'll see Tess the Prophet again. Until that day, we wait in long silence." And Chanel writes, "Wow, me too. I watched the series more than 6 times." We've all watched and rewatched because it is so succinct and well put together, and every time you rewatch it, you pick up something new. I'm the
Yes.
same. I reckon at least 5 or 6 times right the way through. I remember last year doing a trip to Melbourne and back, and maybe it was 11 hours or so in the van each way. I just listened to the whole thing and then back to and the whole way there, the whole way back,
Wow.
20 hours of just listening to Tess the Prophet. And as I cycled back around to the first episode, I I just learnt so much. Even in that 5-minute intro, there's just gem after gem in the channel. So those just joining us, we're remembering Tess the Prophet. He passed away about 2 weeks ago. I remember getting back from doing some music in Brisbane, and I got a message from Adrian that one of our other good friends that was a regular on the channel had passed away. John C. Yerma, good friend. And then literally the next day, heard about Tess the Prophet, and I thought, wow, two amazing humans gone just in the space of 24 hours.
Mhm.
Um,
And one of the things that it's valid to mention from my experience was I was talking with a friend last week about the solitude of the valley when you figure out Adventism is a false religion or a false Christian religion. And there's the time when you figure out the information, you start getting angry or disappointed. And but there's a time then you walk through a empty valley alone with your own thoughts, with your own
yes,
feelings.
yeah,
And during this time, I found Test the Prophet. That
right,
was I was
yeah,
walking like in my own thoughts, saying, "Oh, what a waste of time! 40 years of my life, etc., etc." You start, feeding yourself with this kind of comments internally, and then I look back and I say, "Okay, let me figure out if I can find something else." And I was studying about plagiarism. Then Test the Prophet just show up on YouTube. I said that was kind of my companion during this
yes,
empty
during that time.
season. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now you speak of companion. You and I actually met Tess the Prophet. I think you had already met him before I did, um, but I remember James Andres wonderfully sponsoring my whole trip to California to see the former Adventist Fellowship, to be there that weekend. And he had chatted to Test as well, and Test had confirmed that he would be there, and you were going to be there, and you and I chatted about it because we had already done a couple of shows together by then here. So anyway, I did the trip, got there, and I didn't know what I immediately saw you and a couple of other people that had been watching the show, and I just became aware that just out of the little group of us all chatting was this figure standing there waiting to chat, and I thought, oh, I wonder who that is. And anyway, I walked over and he put out his hand and he said, "Oh, I feel like I know you already. Um, I'm Tess the Prophet." And I was just blown away. I thought I said one of the three reasons I came here was to actually meet you, Tess, and genuine, young, uh, very normal person, very approachable, very down to earth, soft spoken, caring, kind hearted person. And yeah, I remember that weekend you myself, Test, James Andres. I had Mexican for every meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And
I remember how much you enjoyed that that Mexican restaurant.
I
That
could,
was a great restaurant, by the way. It was a great food, right?
incredible, yes. And then Steve Daly, I went to his church, which was at Riverside, just down the road
Yeah.
from the former Adventist Fellowship, and he took us all out to lunch to another Mexican place, and it was amazing meeting Steve Daly as well. Like that
Yeah.
weekend was just incredible, and I felt that you and I and all these others just got on so well, and we were very different people, and we'd shared a common journey through and out of Adventism.
Yes.
I'm just going to play that clip because I do want to share your YouTube channel as well, and I can't until I've played this clip. I'd been joking for ages. I feel bad that it actually didn't get aired. I was going to air it maybe 2 months ago. I made a mini kind of fun documentary of my weekend in California, and in that documentary, we were at one of these Mexican restaurants, and you or me or Test or someone said, "Look, hey, why don't we reveal who Tess the Prophet is?" So spoiler alert: we're not going to be revealing Tess.
His identity, right?
We're not going to. But I'm just saying that for those watching who might be a bit worried that we are. But at the time, I was going to release it as if, here we go, we're going to reveal, and Test was fully in on this as well. So I'm just going to play that clip. It's a bit of fun. Tess the Prophet had a very good sense of humor, and yeah. Anyway, but yeah, spoiler alert: we don't reveal, but we set it up as if we're going to. So just enjoy this, and then we're going to dig into hearing a lot of your memories, Rodrigo. Those of you watching, I'm about to reveal the identity of Tess the Prophet. I've flown 19 hours from Sydney to Los Angeles, picked up by James Andres, driven 2 hours to Loma Linda, knowing that Tess the Prophet was at the former Adventist Fellowship, knowing that I would find out who the mystery man is, and I'm about to reveal Tess the Prophet's identity in a minute. Here it comes. Okay, friends at SDAQ&A, it's come time to reveal the identity of Tess the Prophet. Here he is sitting right next to me, and it's great to have him on the show today. Welcome, Tess the Prophet.
It's great to see you, Peter.
So, how have you been enjoying the former Adventist Fellowship this weekend, Tess?
It's been great. Meeting a lot of people who you see online, you see their names, but actually interacting with them, talking with them, kind of brings everything full circle.
What are some of the highlights of the weekend besides meeting a lot of people, and can you share a couple of the things that have really hit home for you?
I think community, working on stuff for YouTube, you kind of feel like you're in your own silo, and so to actually interact with other people who are doing the same thing or have gone through the same things that you have builds community.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I felt a lot of that too. And, I'm a huge fan of Tess the Prophet, your YouTube channel. Can you tell our viewers, have you got something coming on the horizon, new project you're working on? Do you feel like you've completed the series so far? What's in the pipeline for the channel in the next little while?
So I've been working on several different series, and I can't figure out which one I need to put out first. And so I've also been on a break, but yeah, I'm hoping to put more out, and if I don't, I'll pass it on to the next person who will.
Well, look, thanks for revealing your identity. Thanks for sharing with us, your thoughts of the weekend. It's been worth how many? It'll be nearly 40 hours of traveling, and then here for 3 days. And it's been worth it just meeting you and finding out who you are. Thanks, everybody. That was Tess the Prophet. Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Good memories, good memories. And we had a lot of fun, didn't we? Just kind of working out, now we'll put your hands like this. And because the
Yeah,
hands are a big feature of his whole program.
yeah.
People,
If you allow me, Peter, let me share my screen. I have
yes.
two photos I like to share.
Yeah.
I need to authorize this. Macs. Sometimes Macs are very sensitive. Oh, let me see if I can find. Yeah, I can find it. Let me see if you can see my screen.
Oh,
There you go. This is one, and the other one is this one.
yes, with
Yeah,
James
yeah.
Andres. Oh, I love it.
As you
And
can see, the food is gone. The food's gone.
or another course was about to come.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I just want to thank James Andres again for making that trip happen. And in fact, that last shot was the exact restaurant we did that fun little hands reveal.
Yeah.
And Tess the Prophet was just out of the frame there. I remember him scurrying aside. In fact, I think he took that photo.
Yeah, he probably took, or
Yeah,
was
because it was the four of us hanging out there. And several people are saying who's going to carry it on. Well, that will be revealed, I'm sure, very soon. I know there's talk about it, so we're just going to wait till that person is ready to share that. So there's
I
lots of fun.
remember. I remember when I entered the place, the building where the event was happening, and he was kind of hiding as a secret agent, kind of in a corner, right? Just and then I spoke with him for a couple minutes, and he said, "Yeah, it's me, Tess the Prophet." And I start, of course, hey, your work is amazing, etc. And the fun thing that during the lunchtime, I think we had a break to eat something like during the event,
Yeah.
and then we took a ride all the way to Loma Linda University. So we went for a walk and said, okay, let's go. Let's check the statue of Helen White and all the pioneers, etc. And we walked for a while. We drove all the way to the Loma Linda campus, and we talk a lot about the project and the future, etc. And then we went for the dinner later all together. And I remember he was giving me a ride back to the parking lot, and he waited all the way to the end of the day. It was already dark in the evening. He mentioned, man, I need to tell you something. I have this health situation, and I don't think I have many days ahead. And he started, telling the whole technical situation of what he's was going through. And I said, no, man, don't worry. God has a plan for you. You're gonna stay with us for a long time. And he was not even expecting to be able to visit the next event, the next former Adventist fellowship. He couldn't do it because he was already in a very delicate situation. But he said maybe I have a couple months. That was the conversation. So after all the great moment, happy moment, he said, I'm sorry, but I have to tell you that because otherwise, if something happened to me, you're gonna say, wow, man, you
Yeah.
never told us.
Yeah.
Then we prayed together, and I remember praying for him, and he was very, very tense, but he was being comforted, I believe, by God over this process.
Mm.
And we can tell you how many years ago we went through
Yeah.
event and all the way to 2026. So I believe God preserved him for
Yeah.
his purpose, and that was unfortunately, but he went through. I believe he's in the presence of the Lord now.
Yeah. It was interesting in that kind of comedy skit we did together. When I asked him about work, he was definitely preparing other things. But you can even hear in his wording, and where he says, and if I can't do it, someone else will carry on for me.
Yeah,
And soon after that as well, he mentioned to me as well, and I remember just feeling,
like a punch.
yeah, exactly, yeah, and just the sadness of it. But like you say, he spoke positively, affirming. Yeah, look, share with us some more of your thoughts and memories of when you
Hmm.
came across him, how he influenced you. And I'm
Yeah,
also wanting to encourage those watching to please put some thoughts into the chat, and we'll bring them on as well. Like Chanel has just written, his work will live on. Coach Work has put, I'll continue to share his channel. So yeah, we're remembering Tess the Prophet today, but we're also hoping to let people know that all about his channel and to go and check it out on YouTube.
yeah,
And so
100%.
I want people to go and do that, because the work is just so incredible. Yeah, sorry, back to you, Rodrigo.
Sure, sure. Uh, One of the funny things about his work was after I watched and rewatched many times, I was very solid in my decision to leave Adventism. And then I had a second challenge was to have a conversation with my wife. And she never knew anything that was happening to me. I never shared for at least 2 years. I never shared a single thought. I was just living inside of my own thoughts for a while. And then after I rewatched his show a couple of times, I made a decision, and I was actually praying, saying, "My God, how can I share everything I'm thinking with my wife? Because if I make any decision without her, it's going to be tough." Because she has a extensive background in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Her father was one of the most important architects building SDA churches in Brazil, and the largest temples of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Brazil. Her father was the responsible for. So she had a long history. So it would not just be like, "Hey, honey, we're leaving."
Yeah.
That will not be the case. And you know what? I had an idea. Say, I need to show Tess the Prophet. That should be my first strategy.
Yes. Now I've just lost. Sorry, I just lost you. I just lost you there, Rodrigo. You might need to just log out and log back in, because the
I
screen's
can hear you.
frozen. Can you just log out and log back in, because the screen just
Can you hear me?
froze? Yeah, but the screen is frozen. If you log out and back in, I'll share your channel while you're doing that as well. People are asking,
Sure.
and then
Can you hear me now?
yes, but it's just the screen, I think, needs a bit of a refresh. So I'll just I'll kick you out this end, and then just come straight back in. Yeah, so we're chatting to Rodrigo. We're remembering Tess the Prophet, and Rodrigo, his channel is amazing as well. You can go and check out Rodrigo's channel right here, and just showing your channel there. Paracu Pasamos. How good am I at getting the
It's
pronunciation?
perfect. It's
Oh, good.
getting better every time
Getting
you
better
say it.
every time. And so we'll come back to your channel in a little while. But some people are actually asking for it, so I'm just putting it up on the screen for a moment so people can go and check that out as well. I don't think I can set up hyperlinks in the screen that people can click. I wish I could. That'd be brilliant.
Oh,
So,
that would be great.
yeah, maybe Restream will work on that at some point. But yeah, back to what you were saying. Your strategy, so to speak, for sharing this with your wife was to share Tess the Prophet, the channel. So
Yeah.
carry on from there.
And then I decided to share the first video. And I remember I was sitting on my computer. We had a kind of a bedroom and an office, kind of together in this almost the same place, the same room. And I was looking at her because she was laying down just on her phone, just on social media, whatever. And I was looking at her. She was concentrating, and I was on the computer looking at her and say, "Okay, 5, 4, 3." Okay, let me call that. I want to see you. I want to show you something. I want you to see you something that is very important. Take a look with me. And then I show her, and she will start watching it, and things will start popping. I was looking to her expression, and she was very surprised at first.
Yeah.
And then after that was just a process of sharing more information. And I think today I will be a little bit more paced
Yeah.
in a more slow process because I think I just dump a lot of information at this, all the theology side, all the history side, all the plagiarism, all this stuff. But thank goodness that she quickly understood the big picture, right?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
was important family wise. I'm saying it was important
Yes.
for us as a couple, and then move forward
100%.
as a family.
Yeah.
So
100%.
that's the Prophet make a lot of difference for me in this situation.
Yeah, I tell you what, that you've raised a very interesting point, an important one. I've sometimes thought when people have said, "Well, you're questioning Ellen White, and point to me somewhere I can," and I think, well, I've done some shows on this and that, but I send people to Test the Prophet to that channel because I know that if they just listen to those 5 programs, I think there's 5 full programs.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. If they just go and listen to those, everything is answered in detail. Any question on plagiarism, borrowing, oh, it was okay in those days, it's all in one place.
Yes.
It's an incredible resource, as you did with your wife, to just say, look, well, instead of sitting here and having big discussion about it and sharing my commentary or putting you to bits and pieces of clips, it's a one-stop shop for understanding the issues with Ellen G. White,
Yep.
articulated clearly. Even playing that 5 minutes earlier, I've got a hunger to go and watch the first episode again. In fact, this afternoon, that's what I'm going to do. There's something about his voice, the way he articulates it. He's calm, but he's like a surgeon. It's just so black and white, easily digestible. So yeah, I guess in my rant, I'm just saying what a great resource just to send to people and say, hey, check it out. This is
Yes.
going to answer all your questions.
You're right. You're right. And you know what caught my attention? You mentioned two things that are important, but I'll take like the way he presents, and second, after the fifth episode, after you close the series, the question in your mind is, what is inspiration for the Seventh-day Adventist Church? What inspiration even means?
Yeah.
Because if you're following a prophet, and that is just a quick snapshot, 5 episodes was just a quick, small snapshot of the entire, work of Ellen White. But what is inspiration? And when you look back, that was the key question during the 1919 Bible conference.
Mm,
The question was inspiration. If
mm.
she did what she did, what is inspiration for us?
Yes. Yes. It raises that very big question. And Tess the Prophet doesn't speculate. He hands out the comparisons, often showing you page on one side, comparison page on the other.
Yes.
He doesn't use speculative language. He just presents the facts. And in many ways, particularly early on, I sensed that he wanted us to kind of draw our own conclusions, which I love. That's kind of I love that idea. And I noticed in later ones, in his calm way, there was a little bit more passion in there, a little more sense of urgency that, you've got to be really careful of these deceptions. Did
Yeah.
you pick up on that as well, or what do you
Yeah.
think?
I felt the same intensity was growing
Yes.
as the content was getting a little bit, I know the explosion will start getting a little bit stronger. So in the beginning was a very calm introduction. You go
Yeah.
through, the pipeline of information. You have to be ready. He made an amazing job preparing the audience for what was coming.
Yes. And
That was key.
and I felt like he was on a journey himself. I felt like he had begun the journey, was telling us about the beginning of this journey. He'd done some research, and now he was going to continue that research in front of us. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
And we, in watching those and I highly recommend people watch the intro, the little 5-minute one as well.
Yes, those are important.
Watch
Yeah.
completely, intro, all five. Um, the the process that you'll go through is, I almost feel like it's a way to help you to de-brainwash yourself. Often Adventists have to admit they've been indoctrinated, and there's a
Yeah.
process that he takes you through. I don't know if he intentionally did it, but as he was becoming free of the indoctrination, those who listen and watch the program also can feel that sense of liberation as you go along. And
Yes.
I highly recommend. I've got the book back there, the Ron Numbers book. It's a bit out of focus, but you can see there,
Prophecies of health. Yeah.
of health. I highly recommend people read that book, and I highly recommend that people watch the 6 episodes of Tess the Prophet. Those two together are a wonderful springboard into then, watching all the channels and what people do and continue to do on social media. I'm just going to bring up a couple of comments. Chanel writes, anyone who is honest and truly listens to Test the Prophet series can never continue in the deception called Adventism. Sorry, my phone is ringing. Try and click the do not disturb button. Sorry about that. Does that come through your end? You could hear the phone ringing?
Yeah, I could. It's okay.
So professional. SDAQ&A.
It's okay.
Professional. Coachwork writes, wow, so amazing to hear testimonies of real people affected by Test the Prophet.
Yes.
And someone else says, can you share a link to the main film of Test the Prophet? I guess to the show. Yeah, it's on the bottom of the screen, but it may be harder to see. It's a bit smaller, maybe. I'll bring it up again. But it's easy to find. In fact, if you just write into YouTube, search Test the Prophet, you'll see. I'll just hope this doesn't remove us, but interestingly, that's his logo there on the right, and this is the card I bring up. Test the Prophet has sponsored, I think, 3 or 2 of season 2. He felt that was a really important series that people should watch. Season 2, SDA Q&A, where I interviewed or had 86 programs interviewing people that were there at Glacier View that knew Des Ford, talked all about it. And there's another 2 programs that he has sponsored that I will 100% honor. And this is the little image that I bring up when I do the shows that he sponsors, but I bring it up now. So if you just type in Tess the Prophet on YouTube, you'll see that logo there, with the magnifying glass and the books, I guess. And it's very easy to find. So if you just go to YouTube at Test the Prophet.
The Prophet,
It will
yeah.
come up, yeah. So those watching, I highly recommend you go and see it.
One of the fun things that I remember that he was sharing he used to buy a lot of books. Like we used to buy old books
Yeah.
because of Adventism, and he used to send me links from eBay. So hey, guy, I found this guy here. Just go there and pick, because there's a lot of people checking in. If you buy right now, you're gonna get it. I sent a lot of links for him too. So we kind of started building our own expensive library.
Library. Yeah. Yes, I know that feeling. Chanel writes, let's lift up his family, his wife and kids in our prayers. We knew him through his work. They knew him through his love. Wow, that's powerful. Yeah, so look, I know some family and friends are watching, and just want them to all know that we share our love to you guys, and we're thinking of you, and condolences. Coach says, wow, and met Steve Daly too. Yeah, that was amazing. Let's see if there's some other comments here. Oh yes, Dexter's got a good idea. If I can maybe share the link in the chat, I'll do that as well. Let's see. Some nice comments coming through.
I remember last year, one of the things he was texting me about a study he was preparing for the second season,
Right.
and he showed me a couple documents about Ellen White and some specific visions, prophetic visions from testimonies from other people who live with Ellen White, and he found a very rare book, and that was on the list for the upcoming season.
Oh,
And then he pretty much went to a silence period, like kind of like he was not texting anymore. And I started getting a little bit worried. Then I texted, hey man, are you okay, etc. And then he called me back from a piece of land I think he bought it, a piece of land in the region that he lives, and he was camping with his family and spending some time with his kids, etc., and just enjoying nature. And he was telling me, hey man, I never knew that I was in need of some disconnection from the world to get into nature and get inspired, and that was really helping him to reconnect and feel more peaceful among his family members, his kids, nature. And every time he called me was kind of to share a good moment he was living. And the last time we spoke was during his time, he was traveling, I guess, in a cruise with his family. And I remember his words. He said, hey Rodrigo, I'm here in a cruise with my family having a great time, and it kind of is a sundown moment. And that moment he said, hey man, I'm in peace with God. Whatever happens, I'm fine. I think I completed everything I had to do. If I don't have more time, I'm happy. And he was one of the things that I like to take from him as an example for me is he was actually he was knowing that his days were coming to an end. And this is very hard for me as a person, particularly for me, to envision that, knowing your clock is ticking and
Right.
your countdown is coming. And as more, I think, as closer he was getting to, more peaceful he was sharing his moments. And
Right.
that is something that I definitely want to learn how to do it, because everyone has a different, have a different way of seeing life, seeing challenges. But the way he was looking at his moment and his future as well was something to learn about it, that he really touched me.
Yeah. Wow. I'm so glad you're sharing that, because that um, gives us more insight into what an inspiration he was, not just in his show and his incredible channel, but in the way he was living his life and the way he knew his life was coming to an end, but still living it to its fullest
Yeah.
with a real positive, inspirational way.
Yes. Yes.
And
Agree.
just hearing you say that and confirming that that's what he was doing is very moving. Very
Yeah.
moving.
One of the funny things that happened was, I text him and I say, "Hey, man, I'd like to ask you something extremely big. If you say no, that's fine. That is totally fine." And he said, "What? Whatever. Just ask me what happened." I said, "I want to publish your videos on my channel. However, your videos are in English, and my audience they're from Brazil. So, do you authorize me to dub your voice in Portuguese?
Oh, that is classic.
There's a, can I dub you in Portuguese so it can publish?" And because people don't like the captions, at the
Yeah.
bottom of the video, they
Yeah.
prefer to hear a dubbed version.
100%. Yeah.
And then I say, "Yes, of course, man, please. That's gonna be nice." They said he authorized me to publish all videos, but I have to dub using AI
Yes.
and publish on my channel. And that was amazing. That was amazing. People were looking and saying, "Man, I would never imagine such a," and that was the first version of the dubbing technology, was
Yeah.
in the primary version. Now the technology is way more advanced, so I'm
Yeah.
thinking to redo the job, polish
Yes.
a little bit better,
Good
so
idea.
more people can have
Well,
access to that.
you've been on the cutting edge of that and have inspired me well before, you're telling me stuff well before I hear about it on, on social media. I'm thinking, how he's got his finger on the pulse. But I heard one the other day of a commentator I really like, and it's his actual voice being AI used in a similar fashion to what you're saying, and and it even mimics the lip movement. It's just
Yeah,
mind blowing. So I'm sure you'll be able to reproduce the 5 programs in Portuguese with his voice sounding.
yeah, yeah,
And eventually, the lips, um, and it sounds like he was happy for you to go ahead with that because,
yeah, yeah. And he mentioned something funny, that he said his wife was watching the Portuguese version, the dubbing, and she said to him, "Hey, you sounds better in Portuguese than in English."
ah, that's classic. Oh, that is classic.
Uh,
Darylyn White writes, over there on Facebook. She's watching on Facebook, so I've just cut and pasted it here so I can put it up. I can't see how anyone could watch his 5 episodes and still think Ellen was legit,
yes.
and that's so true. And sorry, can you hear that in the background? I'm just, I've got someone helping me cut the hedge outside,
Oh,
and they're making a start. I'll try and mute my voice as much as I can, but apologies for that. what I'm excited about, this project that he's authorized you to do, as Darylyn just said, how can anyone watch those 5 episodes and still be an Ellen White believer? By
Yeah.
you translating into Portuguese, there's suddenly going to be like thousands and thousands of people who would never have heard this information are going to hear it.
Yes.
It's just
Yes. 100%.
amazing. And that'll be available on your channel, is that right?
Yes, yes. Now with the new technology available and the quality of the dubbing system, one of the things that I really want to do is to dub in multiple languages. So you're
Yeah.
gonna have Spanish, we're gonna have Portuguese, you're gonna have French, we're gonna have the most common languages, and so everybody who has a Seventh-day Adventist church nearby will be able
Yes.
to listen to. So that's important. If you go to the playlists, then you can see the playlist for the Test the Prophet, the plagiarism.
Great. Okay. So there's the channel there on the screen, everybody, if you want to go and learn more about Rodrigo's work. And if you have friends that could benefit from hearing Test the Prophet in Portuguese, that's the place to go. Someone has just asked how old was he? And I'm not sure, but I would say late 30s, early 40s, maybe.
Early 40s, probably. Yeah.
Very young. I don't think he was 40 when I met him, and that was 2 or 3 years ago. So he'd probably be early 40s now. I've also posted the link, by the way, everybody, into the chat. Someone else has written, Brian has written, I loved his peaceful approach on his videos. No spite or anger or resentment.
Yeah.
And Chanel, thank you. She said, thanks for what I'm doing. We need to give each other flowers while we are here. Life is short. Peter, the Ben Carson of peeling the layers of Adventism. Ben Carson wouldn't like that, because he's trying to help build the layers of Adventism.
Oh yeah.
And listening ear writes, I'm definitely going to watch Tess the Prophet channel. That's great. So we're achieving what we wanted to achieve by encouraging people to go and watch the channel. And just seeing. Oh yes, and coaches added, don't forget, guys, that there are the 5 parts plus a few more odd videos on his channel. Yeah, there's the intro video, the 5 parts. What else was there? There's a few extra things there, I think. Yeah, and that's what I brought up before.
And I see 5 videos only. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's some shorts, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's what it might be, because all I remember is the 5 plus the intro. I'm having a quick look there now too.
Yeah,
fact,
he was nice to.
I
He was
can
nice
only
to share Answer Adventism as well. Video, the playlists he shared.
Yeah.
As well. That's nice.
And the 5 includes the intro.
Yes, correct.
Realized, yeah. So it's 5 altogether. It's not 5. It's not the intro plus 5. It's just 5 altogether. Let's see. It's modern Martin Luthers who stand against mainstream believers. And Coach says, Peter, I can't believe how many people refuse to watch. I've shared Tess videos many times. Yeah, well, I think what's interesting is that Tess the Prophet talks about that in the very first episode, how people just treat any questioning of Ellen White as being heretical. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I liked in his series is the fact he took very care about all the details, all for all the production. So he was very careful in highlighting the text. They were similar when
Mm,
comparing both sides. He was care about the branding, the camera quality, and all the pace of the series. Like, it's not a lot of information at the same time, not organized. No, it's everything very clear, organized. You can see the comparison all the time. So it's very productive. You learn, actually. You're not just entertaining. You're learning about it. So that's important.
yes, 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 and they're very well produced.
Yeah.
His were brilliant because he removed himself from the equation, says Vega. The viewer was forced to contend with the content.
Mm,
All you could see was perfect. Yeah, that's true. So it wasn't just anonymity because he was being careful to protect himself and his family, um, but the anonymity brought about its own special ingredient. It became part of it because you had
exactly.
to focus on the content. His hands would just point to the content, look at the content, removing
Yeah.
himself from the equation. And when you met him and knew him, you realize that there was like zero desire for any kind of attention. He was very much about the content, an incredibly humble person. Before I met him, I wondered, is he some person high up in the church? Is he someone that's got this kind of influence and he's pulling back? Um, but he's just average guy, incredible courage,
Yes.
and very unassuming and humble. Yeah. Now, Coach has asked you this, I think, Rodrigo. So I don't know what it says.
Qual é o nome do meu canal? É Para que possamos. What is the name of my channel? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Great.
and it was great. Also, Brian points out that he was able to use a lot of the original material as well. He kept looking for the original source material, which was
Yeah.
very, very good. Yes, a lot of like you mentioned earlier that you both, me too. I'm interested in finding the old books and
But if you look here, you can see, like, look at this. This is just a
yes.
portion. Just a small portion of
So
it.
yes, and finding some of these older works very fascinating. I remember talking to Steve Daly on a program once, and he was saying that what's that first one she wrote, where she talks a lot about the shut door. Oh, I've got a mental blank. Well, her first kind of release, but it was changed. I think there were 37 changes, as in either text taken out or added
Mhm.
to.
Yeah.
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 Um,
Yeah. One of the things that I can say, I can definitely say about the Test the Prophet is that the work he did in all the 5 videos, they speak so loudly in the mind of the Seventh-day Adventists that every single SDA member has only one chance, one option, or actually just two options, or you forget what you watched and fake that you never watched that videos or that series. Just take out of your mind, like, maybe the movie, maybe when you watch the thing, then you forget everything like that,
yes.
or you face reality.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
no other way, man. You have to. No, no, no. Don't talk about that. Don't talk with me.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch that. I never watched that. Forget it. Forget it.
Yeah.
Or you just, like,
Yeah.
let me face it.
Yes. And like Tess the Prophet says in that intro video, when he read The White Lie, which I've got in the background there, um, it was very confronting for him. And I found that when I read it, I had to stop reading. I couldn't. I had to stop
Yes.
reading it. I started reading it in about 1985, and I had to stop. And I did not approach that kind of material for another 5 or 6 years. I just focused on the gospel and Jesus and music. and then in the early 90s, someone started giving me stuff, and I remember reading the 1919 conference minutes and going, "Oh no, I'm being drawn in again to facing this stuff." And then I found my parents had the Prophetess of Health, that exact book there. Actually, my dad's got a signature in it. Um, and I read that. I found that much easier to read than the White Lie. Um, but yeah, this stuff is confronting. I'm a seeker. I'm someone that wants to explore truth claims,
Yes.
and even with that kind of desire and an inquiring mind, I found it incredibly confronting, difficult to approach. Uh,
Yes.
and I think Tess the Prophet felt those things too. And it's things that all of us that are facing these issues feel. And so he takes you through it in a very caring way.
Yeah.
Um, and it's non-confrontational.
No, no. I can tell you something, Peter. On my channel, I try as much as possible to be peaceful. And I can say we are almost reaching 1,000 videos. We're almost reaching that number. And I can tell you 80% of my videos are pretty peaceful. But there are some topics. There are some topics there that make my blood boil a
Yeah.
little bit. And I was watching a 7-day Adventist pastor last week on the Hope Channel in Brazil. They have a program in the Hope Channel called The Truth on the Target. The Truth is on the Target. This is the name of the program inside Hope Channel in Brazil. And then the guy they receive live questions, like live on the show. And the person asked, "Hey, Pastor, here saying that Satan asked a meeting with God and asked Jesus to intermediate this meeting. Where is that written in the Bible?"
Exactly.
Live on the show, and the SDA pastor said it is 100% aligned with the Bible because God is a God of mercy, and that was happening to show mercy. But this is aligned with the Bible verse 1, Bible verse 3. But where is in the Bible that Jesus and Lucifer cried together?
Yeah.
Nowhere in the Bible.
Yeah.
Why Jesus, after the whole battle in heaven, will spend time trying to bring Lucifer back?
I know. I know.
And
I
then I kind of feel myself like, I know I need to answer that. I went to Instagram on my Instagram and say, this is not biblical, guys.
know.
What
No.
how,
Yeah.
please wake up. Please
Yeah.
wake up.
Yeah. It's like Ellen White wrote the prequel to the Bible, paraphrases the Bible through her lens, and gives us the sequel as well. And that particular question that person raised, that was
Yeah.
the first thing that someone asked me that started me really thinking when I was quite young. They said, "Oh," and it wasn't an Adventist. It was someone that just liked exploring Adventism.
Mhm.
And this was maybe 1985, I think, around the time I was reading The White Lie. And he said, "Oh, the Adventists teach that the devil saw an angel passing and said, 'Hey, can you set up a meeting with me and God? I want to be forgiven. I'm seeking forgiveness.'" And so Jesus or God, or I can't remember what the exact wording is, comes over and says, "No, sorry, your time's up. It's too late. There's no forgiveness for you." And like you said, it's just not in the Bible. And I'd always thought it was. And this guy said it's not. And I then began trying to prove him wrong. And
Yes.
in trying to prove him wrong, the truth was revealed to me.
That's
Um,
powerful. That's powerful.
yeah,
Like, but sometimes we got a little bit stressed, but sometimes not. For example, another time I was talking with a different person. which is still a 7 day event, and she was pretty open to have a conversation. And then she was talking about the Sunday law, all the subject. And I make a simple question. I ask her, hey, think about it. Imagine that Jesus is coming in the clouds. The second coming is finally happening. Jesus is here. The angels, the trumpet, everything's perfect. Now imagine looking down, all the people down, just open their arms and say, come on, Jesus, finally, this is our Lord. I ask you, all these people saved, they were in the Sunday church last Sunday before the second coming. Would
Yes.
they will be saved, or they would not be gonna be saved? They will be with open arms receiving Jesus or not? All these people were back in the last Sunday before Jesus came in their Sunday churches.
Yeah.
They will be doomed to the hell or whatever happens. And she was looking at, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
I never thought, just so Jesus is coming. So if people went to the Sunday church the Sunday before,
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer
I
that.
love that. Yeah. Yeah. You're reminding me of the 2 shows you and I did, 7 questions your Adventist pastor won't be able to answer publicly, and then we did
That's
7 more questions. I encourage people to go and check that out. Just search SDAQ&A, Rodrigo and I, 7 questions and 7 more questions. I love the way you can ask these questions that make people think, "Hang on, that's not logical, is it, for me to think like that?" I love it. Chanel writes, I watched a rebuttal on ADL, I'm guessing about Tess the Prophet, with Kevin Morgan. And I thought to myself, Lord, how can one be so blatantly dishonest? And this is the thing with Adventist apologists. I think I've said before, there's 4 Ds. They're either deluded, disingenuous, dishonest, or
deceiving, or yeah,
the D. I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget. But yeah, they and I've mentioned this before. When people are coming out of cults to de-brainwash, it can take 25 years to fully,
yes,
from your journey of thinking about it to leaving. I think I was 30 years. So when I would have defended Adventism, and I would have steered people to the gospel and the Sabbath. Sabbath is a rest day. All the same things that the scholars and academics and progressive Adventists say. I said, so I don't judge them without knowing exactly what they've gone through or going through or feeling. It is
yeah,
really difficult to dismantle it all from your brain and remain stable. There's things, aspects of Adventism at its core doctrinal teachings that are dangerous for your mental health. They're not benign like most Protestant religions, and everyone has their cliched answers. And in my interview yesterday, these guys that have revealed to us, and I'm always holding up that book. It's handy. The Reclaiming the Prophet. If you've got SDAQ&A bingo, there you go. You tick your
yeah,
box. But these guys that revealed the errors of Adventism to us, then when push comes to shove and you say, well, why are you still an Adventist?
right,
They loop back to, well, the Sabbath is a beautiful rest. The church, all the teachings of the Adventist church, when seen through the gospel lens, can be interpreted as revealing the grace and righteousness by faith. They are grace doctrines when looked at properly. No, they're not. They are if you just say Sabbath is a rest day. But Ellen White
yeah,
doesn't say Sabbath is a rest day. It's a test. Like here's a quick thing from Testimonies 6, page 356, paragraph 4. It means eternal salvation to keep the Sabbath holy unto the Lord. That's Ellen White.
yes.
That's what she took to her grave, that kind of teaching. They do not. So the progressive people that I was, my whole Adventist existence until I left when I was 54,
Hmm.
was one of saying, yes, well, look, they've misunderstood their core teachings. Ellen White wasn't really saying this. The Sabbath's not salvific. It's a rest day. It's a celebration of creation, blah, blah, blah. No, the core teachings of Adventism, the number one core teaching is that the Sabbath must be kept or you won't go to heaven, and it needs to be kept accurately. It's Ellen saw it in a big halo around it in vision. So these guys that revealed to us the error then try and reclaim, they're actually revising something that never happened. And they're happy to stay in the church by saying with their, cyclical argument that they're staying because of the Sabbath. The church teaches the Sabbath. It doesn't teach the Sabbath. It teaches that keeping the Sabbath is essential for your salvation. It is blasphemous. So they're staying, watering down, changing, tweaking the doctrines, and it just frustrates me. But if I'd listened to me for 30 years, I would have frustrated me.
I agree 100%. And
Yeah.
one of the things that I think about helping current 7 Day Adventists to at least give a chance for a different thought, a different opinion, is just asking them, hey, do you truly believe that Christians across the planet, all of them, they are part of the Babylon? Or and only the 7 Day Adventist church is representing God on earth?
Yes.
Just give me a hint. And most of them say, but we don't think like that. But we don't believe like that. But we don't preach like that.
Yeah.
And say, your theology says the contrary.
Yes. Very good point. And Rodrigo, even those who are saying, oh, but we're Bible based, we're gospel based, will say to others, but keep those other things in your back pocket, because eventually the church will slowly do away with the investigative judgment and those harsher pillars. So they just, their whole shtick is to be disingenuous.
Yes. Yes.
I know
And
what
the
the other
fun,
D was, deluded. They're disingenuous, deluded,
yeah.
dishonest. Um, now I've forgotten the one I just said. Oh, anyway,
But
um,
that's true. That's true. One day I asked the 7 Day Adventists, hey, what about the 7 Day Baptists?
yes, I saw
Are
that
they,
come up. That was in that. I'm glad you were watching that one. Yeah, that's right.
what happened to them? They are not the remnant. They are keeping the Sabbath.
Yeah.
And the person said, no, 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 they cannot be the remnant because they don't follow the three angels' message.
Yes. Yeah. Which is, yeah, I know. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that I do understand the depth of being deluded by it. And um, it can appear that you're coming across dishonest, and some are, but I guess I'm trying to cut some slack for saying to people, look, why don't they just watch this and go, oh wow, yeah, that's true, and live and abide by it. As Darrell and White said earlier, how can you stay an Adventist after watching the 5 shows of Tess the Prophet? Uh, and you can only remain an Adventist after watching that because of this indoctrination that we've just been speaking about.
Yes, yes, yes. And I believe Tess the Prophet was trying to tell in his way, through his work and his perspective, how Adventists can start having a freedom of conscience, be free to think, be free to question, be free to make your own questions, not only to your pastor, but ask God, God, please show me the way, show me what is true and what is not true. Open my ears when I'm sitting inside of the SDA church. Open my ears. If something's coming from the pulpit that is not coming from you, letting me know.
Yeah.
Bring to my attention. Help
Yeah.
me, Lord, to understand and to listen. The Lord, that was coming from the pulpit, is coming from you, or it's not coming from you.
Yeah.
And I always invite Adventists to do this. Test the prophet means test what people are bringing to you.
Yes.
Test the authority of Ellen White to your life, to the life of your kids, to the life of your husband, your wife. Test it, because otherwise you're going to be completely blind and just following the group, following whatever they're being presented. And his work reveals a lot and help Adventists to, in their secret time, in their privacy, maybe watching on their phones inside the bathroom, sometimes inside the car before enter the house, before these situations are real.
Yeah.
People are not sharing with their spouses. Hey, I'm watching a YouTube channel from a guy who's telling about pleasure. People don't tell. They
Yeah.
stay they stay in silence.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So ask the Holy Spirit, Lord, please show me the way.
Yes. Yes. Well, look, unless there's some other memories or thoughts you'd like to share, we might leave it there today. I really value your time and thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you, Peter. Thank
Let's
you.
do another 7 more questions soon,
Let's do it.
maybe in a few weeks' time, because I think I did 7, and then you and I did another 7, and then so there's at least 21 questions out there, and I think one of the signs of a church that's leaning towards a cult is one. The sign is where that movement does not allow for open discussion. And, I put the word out there, please, if you're an employed, ordained SDA pastor, come on the show and answer some questions. And look, it's a couple of real fundamental traditional ones are happy to, great. But the majority who I know would like to come and share some of these ideas can't, because they literally, not only are they in fear of losing their job, there's a high chance they will.
Yes.
And they tell me this. This is not me just speculating. This is what they tell me. And so I encourage every ordained Seventh Adventist pastor, scholar, academic, progressive Adventist, gospel Adventist to go and check out Tess the Prophet. I encourage everybody watching this to go and check out the incredible YouTube channel, Tess the Prophet. Sadly, Tess has left us, and, we will miss him, but his content is going to go on for years and years and years. And as folk like you, Rodrigo, share his work and put it into different languages, it's just going to reach a bigger and broader audience.
Yes.
And I would be happy if we can send people that way to just look at the material with an open mind, open heart. If they would just do that, just go.
Yeah.
He's not confronting. He's very easygoing. It's not rammed down your throat. There's no mocking. It's here's the information, and think about it.
Agree. 100%. Thank you, Peter. Thank you for the opportunity. And it's always a pleasure to participate here in your show and share some thoughts. And sometimes we speak about many different topics, and they are very harsh sometimes, based on our faith, based on maybe the moment anyone is living now. But that's the prophet proof that it is possible to visit and revisit our own beliefs in a very manner way, in a very productive, professional, educational way. And I truly believe his work will stand and help a lot of people to
Yes.
get their freedom back.
Yes. And you know what? I think it's all right, totally fine on the landscape of YouTube YouTubers that are sharing this kind of content, like you, myself, and all the others we've listed before, it's fine to add your own unique personality to it.
Yes.
Someone said to me once, "Oh, you're supporting a lot of Des Ford and allowing his memory to live on, but you're not as calm as him. You tend to bite back a little bit." And I said, "That's okay. That's me. That's who I
That's you.
am." Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so you don't have to go, "Oh, I'd better be more like Test, or I'd better be more like Ford." You be yourself, and you're just sharing your journey, your story, and I think inadvertently, indirectly, we're building up a really wonderful community of presenters and people interested in this content. And yeah, so quick plug for tomorrow. I kind of have a group once a week called Good News Fellowship. We just look at the gospel. Rodrigo, I don't know if you've presented on it yet, but I'd love you to be one of our guest presenters one day. It's just 40, 50 minutes, talk about the good news of the gospel, no filters, none of this kind of controversial stuff. And tomorrow we've got Tyler Morgan. So it's the same time we started the show today. So the USA, it's Thursday, 6 p.m. and in Australia, it's midday Friday. So just a little plug there so that people can realize that, look, it's not just all trying to be controversial.
Adventism
It's
24
yeah,
by 7.
yeah. We have a once a week a wonderful program where we just share these the good news.
Amen.
And just in a final comment to bring up, Melanie says, because we were talking just earlier about, hey, go and watch the channel, go and look at Tess the Prophet, and she wrote, "I already have. Thanks to him, I am no longer an Adventist." And
Powerful.
why does that warm my heart? So thank you again, Rodrigo. Really
you, brother.
enjoyed chatting today. And once again, just encourage everybody, go and see Tess the Prophet. We will remember him, and all that have seen his program will continue to share his channel. And we just hope that many, many people get to go and watch those 5 episodes. They are life-changing. Well, until next time.
Till next time, and a big thanks to you, and prayers for his family, for his
Yeah.
wife, for his kid, and everyone affected by this loss. But
Yeah.
thank you for all the prayers, and let's keep praying for them.
Yes. Yeah. See you, Rodrigo. Until next time.
See you.